Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, April the 24th. First up, the big news, of course, the 737 Classic from IXEG has released. The video you're watching is from RedPiper1. Go check out his channel, the video is linked in the show notes below. So IXEG, the independent X-Plane engineering group, have after 6 years almost released the 737 Classic, one of the most sophisticated study sim level aircraft available for X-Plane today. Now, the aircraft was developed, that's key, the aircraft was developed and tested by real-world pilots. The development team actually includes pilots of the actual aircraft type. A huge amount of effort was poured into aerodynamic modeling on this aircraft, as well as FMS performance, VNAV and LNAV. Completely accurate cockpit with nearly all the systems and functions in the real aircraft model, but some were dropped in the interest of time and will be added in coming months. Good example of that is the Descend Now feature in the FMS or TCAS. Things like that are not in there currently, but they'll be coming soon. Has an amazing sound set. Now, I've seen this aircraft and messed with it a little bit. I actually got it this morning. I haven't flown it yet, but I have messed with it a couple of times over the past few years, and the sound is one thing that jumps out at you. It actually sounds amazing. Comes with a full set of documentation, tutorials, and quick start guides. Bear in mind, guys, I know a lot of you are rushing out and buying this aircraft right now. It's not an NG. I found that this week when I was flying it and thought it was very, 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 very broken. It's not broken at all. It's just not an NG. And the way the auto flight systems work and everything else is very, very different to an NG. So do read that documentations. On the subject of documentations though, X Aviation are also selling Captain Mike Ray's amazing 737 Classic Pilot Handbook, which you can get discounted if you buy the 737 as well. The actual price for the Classic 737 Classic from IXEG is $75. It is a study level aircraft, that's why it's expensive. More information at the xaviation.com link in the show notes below. Sticking with X-Plane, Camdens Mustang that I covered last week as a pre-release released. The aircraft comes with 4K textures, a completely accurate 3D model, fully detailed cockpit, dynamic pop-ups to assist with managing the aircraft, in particular checklists, communications, weights and fuel and so on. It includes 4 liveries and also has, they claim, accurate flight dynamics developed with help from X Aerodynamics. It is in fact designed to fly in the sim as close to real-world specs as possible. Camdens Mustang is $27.95 from the xplane.org store, linked in the show notes below. And again, the video you're watching is from RedPiper and his video is linked as well. Next up, the Aerobask Epic E1000 Skyview for X-Plane. Video this time is from Thomas Rasmussen, who helps me out quite a lot. Thank you, Thomas. His video is linked in the show notes below. This is the follow-on to Aerobask's previous Epic E1000. The difference, of course, between this and the previous one is the addition of the Dynon Skyview Advanced Avionics System, basically glass cockpit. It was developed, the original aircraft was developed with cooperation from Soma Aviation, who are an Epic E1000 operator, so it is pretty accurate. It features a high-quality 3D model, 4K textures, panoramic windshield with full ice and rain effects, and of course, the glass Skyview cockpit featuring custom map and FMS, flight plan management, transponder, autopilot, and so on. All the EFIS functions as well actually work in a pop-up view with an X-Plane, which is very cool. $29.95 is the price from the xplane.org store. Owners of the previous version can send an email and get this for just $7. Now, I do want to point out, normally in the news show, all I do is relay the news. I relay the press releases and the information that I have found directly from publishers. I don't tend to have experience with the aircraft in question. This one I actually do. I actually have the Aerobask Epic E1000, the original one, and it's pretty good. So I think I am going to take advantage of that $7 upgrade and get the new Skyview version. Moving over to the world of the DCS World, DCS P51 High Stakes Campaign has released. Now, this is a single-player campaign focused around the P51, the Mustang, and it's a story-driven campaign where you are a pilot for hire, and then you have to undertake 15 missions ranging from ground attack to air-to-air combat, and so on and so on. There is also a very interesting requirement in the campaign to minimize ongoing damage to the aircraft as you proceed through the missions, which is very cool. It requires DCS World 1.5, which, as I always point out, is completely free. You can just go and download it, but you will need to buy the Mustang to go with it. The civil Mustang that's included with DCS World will not be suitable for this campaign. The price for the DCS World P51 High Stakes Campaign is just $9.99. As always, love what Ego Dynamics are doing with the pricing on these campaigns. Next up, the other sim, Dovetail Flight School, has been delayed. Dovetail made an announcement on Facebook this week saying that they've received an incredible amount of feedback on the new sim, and as a result have pushed back to a release date of the 24th of May 2016. They say, in quotes, the extra time will allow us to make flight school even better and a more polished experience, end quote. They also say that they will continue to monitor feedback from the community and let that feed into the product's development as they proceed. Next up, in the world of FSX and Prepared, OrbX have been showing preview shots or development shots of their upcoming OpenLC USA. Now, the OpenLC products are the Open LAN class. These are the LAN classes which change the types of texture and autogen and all that kind of stuff all over the world. And they've already put out a couple. They did Norway, I think. They did Canada. Now they're working on OpenLC USA. And the images you're looking at were posted by John Venomer to the OrbX forums, and they show a sample of textures as you move from the Midwest to the East across the United States. They look very, very high quality indeed, with immense autogen in places, lots of variety on the ground as well, accurate coloring, and highly detailed geometry on roads, fields, and so on. Very excited for this product. No idea of a release date or a price. Stay tuned. Next up, FSFX Packages. Love saying that. FSFX Packages immersion updates. FSFX Packages posted an update blog post on their website on all their products. In particular, or of particular interest to us though, is Q400 Immersion, which is their FSFX Packages immersion product for the Q400, is going to beta next month. Now, it's going to feature wing condensation, prop vortices, volumetric lighting, wheel spray effects, and much, much more. This is really a product for those of you who are into making videos or looking at the externals and the imagery of your aircraft in flight. Not so much for people like me who tend to spend all their time in the cockpit, but it really does add, as they say, a level of immersion to the aircraft, which is kind of cool. Also, not related but kinda, trike immersion. Now, this was the ultimate April Fools. FSFX Packages at the beginning of April said they were releasing a trike immersion package that would add all these wonderful vapor-based effects to the default trike in FSX, and we all went, ha ha ha, good one. The joke's on us. It's a real product. Trike Immersion is actually available right now. It's completely free. You just need to go over to the website and download it, and then you can get all these wonderful vapor effects on the default FSX or Prepared trike. In addition to that, FSFX Packages have an AvSim forum thread running right now asking customers to tell them which aircraft to tackle next in their immersion series. The FSFX Packages update is linked in the show notes below. The video you're watching is actually a quite old preview of what's coming in the Q400 immersion. Next up, FlightSimWhere's Grumman G44A Widgeon, which is the strangest name for an aircraft ever. It's like pigeon, but with a W. This is an amphibious aircraft. It was designed initially for the civil market, similar to, but smaller than, the Grumman Goose, and it was then used in World War II as a patrol and utility aircraft. Features on this aircraft include a 100% shareable cockpit, which is kind of cool, 4K textures, real-world gauge performance and animation, GTX 330 transponder simulation. Almost all internal animations in the aircraft are covered, with including custom windshield rain effects, which is unusual actually these days in FSX and Prepared. The aircraft comes with 5 liveries and supports all versions of FSX and Prepared, and will set you back $21.99. More information at the FlightSimWhere link in the show notes below. And our final story, MSK Productions Lahore. Now, this is where I do my customary mispronunciation. I apologize if I get it horribly wrong. Lahore covers Allama Iqbal International Airport, which is the second largest civil airport in Pakistan in Lahore. It features 3 terminals, 7 air bridges, 30 parking spots. And in terms of MSK Productions' version of that airport, all features are modelled. The surrounding area is actually covered as well with a custom land class. The scenery comes with night textures and custom night lighting, static vehicles, highly detailed taxiways and runways, including all signs, and the add-on supports all versions of FSX and Prepared version 2 and Prepared version 3. The price is €19.99. There is an upgrade price available though if you have the FS 2004 version. So that's it for this week's show. As always, and I'm sure I have, if I have missed something, do leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'll take a look and see if it's worth including in next week's show. Thank you to the video producers I linked in the show notes below who helped me by providing video footage for this episode. Until next week, my name is Frugal, and I'll see you all very soon.